Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Sunday, June 16th, 2024. It is the day of the sun. We are in Gemini season, the Celtic tree month of oak, deer season, Pluto retrograde, and of course, today is Father's Day. Now, on that note, I have found us a lovely picture of the progression of from youth to father to sage. And I do want to wish all of the pagan fathers out there, especially, a very happy Father's Day. And I would like to remind everyone that no matter what the state of your relationship with your earthly father is, you have many divine fathers who are worthy of your praise and devotion and celebration of this day. So today really is something to where we can focus upon the divine masculine and the masculine in our lives, and just celebrate it for everything that it really does do for us. And on the note, I also found this lovely invocation. It's invoking the Great Father Spirit, and it's something that I have used in ritual to invite the God into the circle. So, if you want to take a screenshot of that, or just look it up in Pinterest, and you can make use of that perhaps in your own rituals. But it really has a lot of heart in its writing. Now, for today's astrology, the sun is in Gemini, mutable air, representing communication. The moon is in second quarter Libra, cardinal air, representing courtesy. And then we have Mercury in Gemini, mutable air, representing insight. Venus in Gemini, mutable air, representing the spendthrift. Mars is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing purpose. Jupiter is in Gemini, mutable air, representing questing. Saturn is in Pisces, mutable water, representing nostalgia. Uranus is in Taurus, fixed earth, representing renovation. Neptune is in Pisces, mutable water, representing imagination. And Pluto is retrograding in Aquarius, a fixed air sign, meaning we need to examine our intentions and remember the Pluto retrograde mantra of reflect, heal, and evolve. So we are in the waxing gibbous phase of the moon, and that means it is time to cultivate our intentions, time to get away from the brainstorming table and get out and start implementing our ideas, because it is by us taking mundane action that is going to strengthen our magical intentions. If you are sending the universe or the gods mixed messages, but you're wishing magically for one thing, but you're actually doing quite the opposite, well, guess what's going to happen? Nothing. So don't cancel out your own energy. Make sure that everything is flowing and progressing together. Now, for the Libra moon, some of your do's are socialize, network, look for solutions, but your don'ts are manipulation, emotionalism, and romanticism. Now, as it is the day of the sun, and specifically because it is the last sun's day before the summer solstice, I think this is an outstanding day for us all to take some time to connect with the solar deity or deities that we are most drawn to, and really put some effort into opening lines of communication or strengthening lines of communication that have already been established. We are very swiftly working up to the big day. I mean, it's going to be next Thursday. I mean, the time is now. Now we have the tarot of the day. So we've gone from the sun to the moon card. And the moon in this deck represents reflection. Now, we know that the literal moon, she does not shine by herself. She does not have self-generating light. It takes the light of the sun that is touching her surface to give her that beautiful glow. And likewise, within us, there are parts of ourselves that don't make themselves known until they're under some kind of spotlight. We're noticing them. They can't be unseen. Or maybe there's someone said something, someone did something, and it caused that unseen part of ourselves to rise up to the surface, and suddenly it's there for everybody to see. And this is reason 10 billion and one why it is so important that we actually do engage in shadow work, because without exploring our depths, and that is the dark and what is lurking within us that we just don't generally see, we're not going to be as well prepared for when some of that stuff does rise to the surface, because inevitably that is going to happen. So that's just something to think about. And maybe if you've been wondering, well, should I do a bit more shadow work? Should I deal with some stuff? Consider this your sign. Now, today's Celtic Triad reads, 3 things for which the good poet preserves for posterity: memory for the praiseworthy, delight in thought, and instruction and knowledge. So that's quite a job for the poet. And that's not generally how we think of poets today, is it? Because usually poetry's been reduced to either the realm of angsty teenage girls or, very serious, very literary people who are writing things that require in-depth thought and analysis. It's not used as broadly as what the ancients did. Perhaps we can bring it back because poetry isn't merely beauty of form or beauty of expression. For our ancestors, it was meant to serve this greater function of making sure that those who did great deeds were remembered for them and for what those deeds accomplished, for the exploration of higher forms of thought, for the passing on of knowledge. It's important we do this, and it's important we do this not only in the form of more academic kind of history books, but also in our storytelling, because in the end, we are the sum of the stories we believe in. I mean, contrast yourself with someone who's of a different religion or perhaps a different philosophical persuasion. Think about the stories that they ultimately believe in, and then contrast them and their worldview, their mode of being, their general outlook on life with yours. It'll be very, very apparent of just how great of an influence the ideas we take to heart really makes. So we do have ample reason to preserve anything that does ennoble us. And storytelling, I would just want to stress this: this is not confined to the pagan past. We are writing our sagas now. 500 years from now, future pagan generations will be looking back to the work we accomplished today. Now, not everything that we do is going to survive, but we should make every effort for there to be something for the future generations to look back upon. When I think about the pagan awakening and how things really started to come out of the broom closet in the 1950s, and just the dearth of information that those pagans had then, we have really learned so much more because there's more technology, there's more academic interest, there's a variety of factors that have improved the state of our knowledge. I don't look back on and judge them for things that they weren't aware of and had no means of being aware of. I do not judge them for that. I have considerable sympathy just for them really trying to take what few threads and what few shadows of ideas and bring it together in a comprehensive form that was actually provided people with a structure that they could work with in a reasonable and ongoing fashion. And I think, how ungrateful it would be if those of us today didn't appreciate what that generation did for us, and how everyone past has been adding layers and textures to the pagan tapestry. And then also it imposes upon us a kind of obligation to the future, that we do not put them in a position of those who came before us, and that, those of us that we're in right now. I mean, you do not have to be in a pagan circle for very long when people talk about, we've inferred these various things, but the historical record itself is really lacking. I mean, we are really taking some leaps of faith here. It doesn't take very long at all for that to happen and come up in conversation. So let's not do that for posterity. So if you are a poet, I guess you know what you need to be doing. Now, today's magical intention, it is order. For this, we have the color orange, the rose plant, the ant, and the orange quartz crystal. Now, the universe itself has order, and if you've done any kind of studying of, well, anything in the scientific realm, particularly anything having to do with space and the solar system, and how what we've learned about how that all fits together and the manner in which it functions, you see that there is method to the madness. There is order. There's a reason why things happen in the way that they do, and we're learning more about the factors about what affects that ebb and flow. So there's nothing wrong with having order, and I think some people have created chaos for themselves where perhaps it really wasn't necessary and didn't serve a purpose. Because remember, chaos is as much a destructive force as it is a life force. It's just a question of the amount that we are channeling rather, and bringing into our lives. And for what point and purpose? Are we trying to give life to a structure, or are we just going cattywampus crazy every which way? Are we creating order in our lives? To what degree? Is it been helpful? Do we need to make adjustments? Do we have that actual balance between order and chaos? But the reason why I really wanted to emphasize order today is just because of the amount of chaos that we have in the world, and it's not of the life-giving sort. It is of the destructive sort. So while that is playing out, we need to look after ourselves, and sometimes creating a little bit of order within yourself, within your practice, within your home, It goes a long way to keeping the worst of the crazy at bay. Now, for today's pagan practice, honor a solar deity because it's the day of the sun. This is also a good day to work on your root chakra, to learn something new about your sun sign. Of course, celebrate Father's Day. Make sure that all of the fathers in your life know that they are appreciated and loved, and enjoy some time in nature. It's Sunday, it's the weekend. We should do that. And last of all, for today, we have the journal prompt. How do you make use of these increased hours of daylight? There's a wide variety of tasks that are just a little bit harder to get to in the darker portion of the year. So now that we are still very much in the light part of the year and we have ample amounts of daylight, and it won't really be, even though at the solstice it's the absolute height and then things start to gradually decline, it won't really be until Lunasa that we are really starting to feel the effects of, oh, the daylight is actually going away from us. At least that's when I have always felt it. So while we do have the light, how are you taking advantage of that? So that's what I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. I do love hearing from you guys. And I want to make a special thanks of everyone who does comment every day. They aren't just watching. They aren't just clicking the like button. They're leaving comments. A lot of them are starting conversations. I cannot tell you just how encouraging that really is, and how nice it is to have this exchange with you guys. So much love. It is very much appreciated. But I will see you guys tomorrow for the next edition. Bye for now.